War is coming. Venezuela is launching a series of military exercises, and the footage that you're seeing behind me is a little old. These are not the current exercises, but they're launching exercises along the coastline in preparation for an American invasion. And this is coming just at the same time as the United States announces that it is sending the Gerald R. Ford, which is the newest and most advanced and the largest aircraft carrier that we have in the entire Navy, to Southcom AOR, that's the Caribbean and South America. And they're coming out of CENTCOM, that's the Middle East, and this is the first time in, decades that the U.S. has not had an aircraft carrier in CENTCOM, so that is huge and telling on two things. One, the priority that Southcom has within the Pentagon, and two, the trust that the peace agreement in Gaza and across the Middle East is going to have. Here's Phil Stewart, he's a Reuters correspondent, and he makes a point that the sending of this aircraft carrier far outstrips really any necessary firepower needed to target just drug cartels. And this goes back to a point that I've been talking about already. If you think that this is all just about drugs, then you need to really just zoom out and take a look, because this is not just about drugs. This is about Maduro in Venezuela. You do not need this much combat power and firepower forward deployed and poised for a very large and sustained combat operation in Southcom just to target the cartels. And if you really were targeting the trafficking, then you would target northern Mexico, because the majority of the traffic and drug trafficking going into the United States comes from northern Mexico and by land. No, instead, this is really just positioning and preparing for a conflict against Venezuela to topple Maduro. And while the Venezuelans are having their exercises, one U.S. warship is going to be visiting Trinidad and Tobago for an exercise themselves. And at the same time, the U.S. Treasury is putting sanctions on Colombian President Gustavo Petro for, as they say, his role in the global illicit drug trade. We talked about this in a past video, but him and Trump have had a recent spat, and Trump leveled accusations that he is just as bad as Maduro. And so that is a pretty big problem for Colombia. And with everything going on, Maduro said that he has deployed over 5,000 Igla-S, and these are small shoulder-mounted air defense missile systems, to the northern coast of Venezuela. And these are not going to be a threat at all to U.S. aircraft like the, fighter jets and bombers, but it will be a threat to things like, lower flying, slower aircraft like helicopters and drones. So for an initial bombing campaign, that's not a problem, but for sustaining ground operations in Venezuela, which Trump said is coming soon, that could be a threat. In any case, just as I have been, I'll continue to monitor, so follow for more.